Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to my Workshop Wednesday video for this week. I might be talking a little funny. I'm a little numb. I went to the dentist this morning and had a metal filling removed. So got to be detoxing from that. But anyway, I'm still a little bit numb here. All good. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you guys about fat loss and why if your fat loss isn't happening, you can blame your brain. And I want to share one very specific tool you can start to use right now. I'm going to share that at the end. It's free. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and it's going to help you tap back into that fat loss if that's a goal of yours. Now, if we don't know each other, I'm Tara. I do these weekly videos and I share something in the space of holistic health, nutrition, fitness, something like that to help you guys along in your journey. I help women get healthy, fit, and strong for a living. And, these videos and other social media things are sort of my give back way. Why am I talking about fat loss? Guys, the truth is fat loss is not a big part of my attention and day. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about fat loss, like for myself personally, but it is such a big ask of you guys here on social media, and also you guys meaning my clients as well. There's a lot of overlap there, but you guys want to know so much about fat loss. So that's why I talk about it a lot here, but I also want you to know that I'm never going to steer you in a wrong direction for the sake of fat loss. It's always about health first. So if I'm sharing something that's going to help with your fat loss, you can rest assured that I am also thinking about your underlying, your true deep overall health as well. Okay. But it's just that, if this is your ticket in, if this is your way that you're going to be watching my videos or hanging out with me and getting this information, then I'll talk about fat loss all day long, because the truth is I want you to get healthy. I want you to get fit. I want you to be strong. I want you to consider longevity. I want you to enjoy your life, all of those things, right? So if fat loss is your ticket in, then that works for me. So fat loss in your brain. Okay, our brain is like management. It's like the CEO of our entire body, right? And you do know your brain is inside your body, right? Because I hear so many people talking about brain health as if it's separate from your actual physical body, but our brain is inside of our body. It's still part of our overall body. It deserves just as much attention as everything else. If your brain is not, hey Patty, thanks for joining. If your brain is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, you're not going to be able to either achieve the fat loss goals that you have and or stick to them. Okay, because it's sort of like then you're bypassing your whole operating system and trying to get the results at a different level. It's not going to stick. Hey, Patty. So we have to start with the brain. And this is why when I work with clients one-on-one, we do start with mindset things, okay? We don't dive right into the nutrition. Listen, you guys, I am obsessed with nutrition science. I am obsessed with fitness and mobility, everything related to health. But that is not the place where we can start, because once we start to tweak those changes in those areas, if we have not done the foundational work of changing the way our mind is, changing our momentum, our motivation, our self-talk patterns, how we speak to ourselves, changing our cravings, changing our pain and pleasure, all of those things that reside inside the brain that really will affect your long-term success with your fat loss goals, those things have to be worked on first. So if you are not focusing there, and let's say you have a lot of pain, not a lot of pleasure, right? You're having tons of cravings. A lot of that stems from having anxiety. When you have any sort of pain, maybe even some past trauma that you haven't resolved, which, by the way, trauma is a super interesting topic. I'm not going to really get into that here, but trauma, there's a way that you can sort of go back and change you can't change your past, what's happened to you, but you can sort of change the packaging with which you keep that memory in your mind, and make it less of a painful one. Because trauma in the past only exists in your mind, right? It's not a thing that exists right now. It's just the memory of it. And it's not even just the memory of the experience, it's the memory of your perception of the experience. This gets very deep into neuroscience, but we can go back and we can resolve past trauma and sort of package it up in a different way. So that stuff is important too. But that's not what I'm really talking about here. I'm talking about basically reducing your pain, increasing your pleasure to a point where you are not trying to overcompensate, because our brain will overcompensate. So if it is not experiencing enough of the pleasure, if it is experiencing too much pain, it's going to send you all kinds of strong signals to go and seek out pleasure in things that might not be serving you, right? So this is where you get your food addictions, your overeating, your binge eating, stress eating, emotional eating. That's what I work with mostly. But then, you've got your people who are addicted to drugs and overuse of alcohol and gambling and sex addicts and all those things that people go outside of themselves to seek in order to get that pleasure. That's a brain's choice, and it's your brain trying to get that level of pleasure up, okay? Increase the dopamine in your brain, that's the feel-good hormone, and decrease the pain. And so when you don't start there, excuse me, when you don't start there and you try to make these other changes with your nutrition and your fitness, one second. Okay, I'm back. So when you don't start there and you try to make those other changes, they are not going to stick. I was going to say less likely to stick, but I can't even say less likely. They are not going to stick. I've done this enough times with enough people to know that you really have to start with working on your mindset shifts. You have to start with being able to control your emotions. It's not that you're not going to experience all the emotions. We all do. We're humans. There's a full spectrum of emotions, positive and negative, and we all experience them all. It's not about not experiencing them. It's about allowing it instead of resisting it. It's about being able to work through it. It's about being able to see the beauty in even the negative emotions, not in the moment. Like in the moment when you're struggling, it sucks. That's what I'm talking about. But you can get to the point where you can look back and really appreciate all the negative emotions as well, because they've helped you to grow or to at least understand your strength or to build resiliency or something like that, okay? And when you can get to that place, your brain, you're just accepting it all. Your brain is not now going outside of you to try to comfort itself with all of these other things. So you no longer have an issue with overeating, stress eating, emotional eating. And could you imagine how much easier your fat loss attempts, weight loss attempts, any other, fill in the blank, any other health goals that you have, could you imagine how much easier that is when you are no longer craving food for reasons other than just fueling your body and, hunger, physical hunger? It becomes so much more effortless. So then when we dive into the nutrition and we talk real nutrition, we talk protein, we talk carbs, we talk fat, we talk balancing our plates and what kind of portions you need to fuel your day, based on your activity levels and your goals and things like that. When we talk about those things, then you're able to actually look at it and stick to it. But could you imagine if we skipped all that work up front and we just went into like, here's your portions, here's this or that, but you haven't dealt with all of those other issues? So now let's see, your mindset is you're doubtful. You still believe that you are a quitter maybe. You hesitate to even try something new. Change feels uncomfortable to you. You think that you don't even deserve it. You're not worthy. It's not going to last anyway. What's the point? You're still thinking so short-sighted. You're still thinking maybe that you are looking to get in shape for someone's wedding or some reunion that's coming up, rather than for your life. Can we get in shape for a life and not for like a reunion? So once we fix those things and we dive in deep to the nutrition and we get you on a good fitness plan where you enjoy it and you actually watch your progress and everything, that's where it sticks. But those changes, those don't come right away. Those shouldn't start right away. If you ever hire, you don't ever have to hire me. If you ever hire a coach and they try to start with you with nutrition and fitness right away, find a different coach. They either have not had the experience to understand that that's not how it works, or they don't have the education or whatever. I don't know what it is, but that's not the way that you start. And, maybe it sells some extra programs or whatever because you're sort of giving people what they say that they want, but you can't just give people what they say they want. You got to give people what's going to actually work. And so start with your brain. All right, enough. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. I want to give you that tool. So one of the main things that you can do, and this is something you can do right away. This is like tip of the iceberg stuff, but you can start using this right away. We spend too much of our time in our sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. And we don't spend enough time in our parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. Okay, so it's great to work out, but really you need to recover, right? It's that whole ebb and flow thing. You can't just be hard all the time. You have to take a step back and recover and breathe and rest and all of that. That's really important. And so when we are really anxious, when we're just rushed all the time, when we're nervous, when we're worried, all of that, when we spend most of our time in that space, which I know a lot of us do, we're not digesting our food properly. We are very toxic. We've got all of these biochemicals that are released inside of us, right? Chemicals that are released inside our bodies that are actually toxic to us. That's what happens with stress. We are designed to sort of engage with a stressful situation and then disengage. We need to be able to do both. And when we're just constantly there, it's not serving us at all. So, and then when you're in that state also, you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So you're not being mindful of like the choices that you're making. Let's just say when you're grabbing your food, you're probably utilizing food to comfort yourself, right? Because you're in that painful state a lot of times. And so that's what your brain is going to tell you to do, to go to the food in order to comfort yourself. So one of the best things that you can do, and the easiest and the quickest to get yourself from a sympathetic place to a parasympathetic place, is to focus on your breathing. Super easy. I did a very quick static post about this, I think yesterday or the day before. It is going to be, there's many different options here, but I'm going to share one with you today. It's the 4-7-8 method. So 4-7-8 method just means you inhale for a count of 4, you hold your breath at the top for a count of 7, and you exhale for a count of 8. The reason the exhale is twice as long as the inhale is on purpose. We think that we need to take a deep breath when we're stressed out. It's the opposite. When we're stressed out, we need to actually take a long exhale. That's the thing that actually calms us down, because the deep breath gets the oxygen in, but oxygen will actually make us more aroused, make us more alert, which is great if you need to go into that fight or flight. But if you're looking to step back and be in the rest and digest, you actually don't want that elevated oxygen. What you need is to get rid of the carbon dioxide, which is what you do on an exhale. Getting rid of carbon dioxide is actually the impetus that makes us want to breathe in the first place. But the long exhale is important, okay? So there's other breathing styles. There are breathing styles that can actually like wake you up in the morning. They can do different things, but this specific breathing style will help you to calm down. 4-7-8. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, and then a nice long exhale for 8 seconds. You're getting rid of that carbon dioxide and you're just gonna start to calm down. How long should you do this? Well, it depends on how much time you have. You could just do a couple of cycles of it while you're driving. It's a good thing to do when you're transitioning from one hat that you wear to another, right? So you're coming from work and then you're going into your mom life, or vice versa, or you're walking into a stressful meeting or something like that. This is a good thing to do as you're transitioning, as you're pivoting from one role to the next in your life. You just need to kind of calm down. 4 seconds in, 7-second hold, and 8 seconds out. Hey Cassandra, thanks for watching. So that's the tool. That's the one of a million tools. I will be bringing more to you guys, over the course of who knows, forever probably. I am obsessed with this stuff. Besides the nutrition and the fitness, I know I say that I'm obsessed with a lot of things, but I am. But the brain health, mental health, and neuroscience is something that I just think it's so fascinating. It's like the last frontier, but there's so much information that we now have, and there's going to be more coming. And it's just more and more evident that is what we need to tap into in order to make all of our other goals come true. So if you want fat loss, trying to get yourself into more of a parasympathetic nervous system state rather than a sympathetic nervous system state is going to be helpful. Okay, your cravings will decrease, your emotional eating will decrease. You'll be able to just feel better about yourself and make better decisions. So try the 4-7-8 breathing. Let me do one cycle with you guys right now. Okay, I'm gonna inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. Here we go. Even just one cycle of it, you can just feel yourself calming down. My shoulders came down without me really trying. it works. Try it and let me know in the comments what you think. And I would love to find out if it's something that helped you. Try it in your next stressful situation. And I will be joining you guys soon for more tips and fat loss. Yes, fat loss stuff as well. But remember, if you focus on your health, the fat loss just becomes a lot easier. So you can just focus on overall health and wellness, and your fat loss will come easier. It's like a double, what's the word here? What's the phrase? When you focus on fat loss, you'll get healthier. But when you focus on your health, the fat loss becomes easier. So it sort of goes in both directions, which is what's so fascinating. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.